I'm Asif Farouk of Finextra, and I'm with Ismail Douiri of Attijariwafa Bank. And we're here at the Winkel-Nixdorf International Management Seminar. You mentioned in your presentation that a certain proportion of Moroccans live outside of the city. What was that figure, and how does that affect the banking strategy?
The proportion is progressively diminishing, so it's currently around 50%. So it's a large amount. We're fortunate to have that because it helps also Morocco keep a very strong agriculture and also avoid overburdening the cities. We have several cities of different sizes, so that's also a big difference between Morocco and many developing countries, is that we don't have rural migration towards only one big city, and we're fortunate to have that. So what's happening progressively for those populations is that initially they just meet once a week in a market where they exchange goods, and this is the historic tradition. Those meeting places have become towns, and those towns now have 1, 2, 3 bank branches. So they usually, if they are profitable for a bank, or if they need a service from a bank, they have the possibility to have an account in that town and then to go check their account and do their operations at least once a week. This is enough of a frequency, to serve most of the needs. So most of these people are now getting access to banking services the normal way, I would say, because they are meeting once a week in a town that has a normal bank branch. Now, if we want to go beyond that, then we will probably need to be very innovative in terms of access. And so far, no particular experiment in Morocco has been successful, just because there is available service very close to them, and when they need it, they really apply to it. For the rest, it's the normal evolution of people going to the city, entering the job market, opening a normal bank account, so that today in Morocco, 60% of the adult population has a bank account. So more than the urban, technically more than the urban population, which means that some rurals already have access to banking services.
You said something very interesting in your presentation, that Africa as a continent can be seen in one of two ways. It's sometimes referred to as the new China, with all this potential, and sometimes we see in the news on regrettable events and Africa in crisis. Now, what do you consider the actual potential growth there is in Africa?
Well, I think for the banking industry, first, it's an industry that is very linked to the economy in general. So we always benefit from economic growth, and in many countries in Africa, economic growth is higher than 5% and will probably be closer to the 7% mark. In the countries where we go, on top of that, there is usually a very good macroeconomic environment with very low inflation. So, we have stable basis growth of between 7 and 9%. But on top of that, you have a story of catch-up, of penetration of financial services into the economy. One simple way to look at that is just the ratio of total banking assets over GDP. This ratio is currently at 120% in Morocco, but it's only at 20% in Congo. So if you assume that Congo will converge to Morocco's penetration in 10 years, that adds maybe 15% additional annual growth to that figure. If you assume it will take 20 years, then that's only maybe 7 or 8%. But in any case, the countries where we go to have a natural basis growth of the banking industry that is above the 12 or 15%. So for us, it's really a fantastic opportunity to not only benefit from this growth, but also use the skills that we acquired in Morocco in the past years, because Morocco has lived exactly the same story.